Hi, this is Dr. Joanny Liu, founder of Concussion Answers and best-selling author of my Amazon book, Heal Your Concussion, How to Quickly and Effectively Get Back in the Game. And I'm just going to wait a little while for people to jump on. Please, if you are on, then share this link with everybody and let them know that we're on. So, the thing is that I am so inspired and excited by the story that I have today because it's quite a remarkable one. It's about going beyond limitations, not recognizing the limitations that you might think that are there, that it is possible to get beyond the limitations of the body. Because, in fact, the body really follows the mind. I mean, when you want to get a cup of coffee, you go and get it. If you're hungry, you go to the fridge and you go and get some food. That's the thing about the body. It always follows your mind. And so that's why it's so important to get the mind in gear. Because we have control over it. We have control over the mind, and therefore we have control over our brains. Because the thing is that, the brain is a thinking tool. But it can be so scattered. It can be going all over the place. And that's why today's story about Helen Keller is so incredible. Because she never allowed her disability to get the best of her. I mean, Helen Keller was born in the 1880s. So she lived up to the year of 1968. And she was 88, just before her 88th birthday. And the remarkable thing about Helen Keller is that she was known to be deaf and blind, okay? But the thing is, she wasn't born that way. Instead, she lived a pretty normal life up until the time she was 19 months old when she caught what was known back then as brain fever, and the result was that she went deaf and blind. Now, she already had the experience of living a pretty unique life because at 6 months, she had already began to talk. And by 1 year old, she was already walking. So she was already unstoppable. And, her parents were a well-off family. She lived in a good home. And then this happened. And it was pretty disastrous for a little girl who suddenly had her entire world taken away from her. But one of the things that I've been teaching is that your physical senses aren't nearly as important as your mental faculties are, where you have creativity and you can think things through. You have the ability to think things through, to find out what the solution might be to your problems. But the thing is that you've got to be more disciplined about doing these things and actually not be afraid to go deep into your life to examine it. Because when you do look deep into your life, then you're going to come up with the solutions and you're going to understand yourself a whole lot more. A lot of people won't dive into their lives because they're too afraid or they don't consider it important to do that, but it really is because that's where the solutions are. But the thing is about Helen Keller is that as a small girl, she was unruly, and wouldn't you be too if you were suddenly unable to do the things that you used to be able to do? And even at 19 months, she was really aware of what she had lost, and she couldn't express herself. And that was probably a huge thing, not being able to express oneself. Because expressing oneself with your voice, being able to hear your voice and to be able to speak it, is the ability to speak your truth. It's the most public expression of yourself, okay? So people who can sing, who can speak, who want to express themselves and let people know how they feel about things, I mean, that is the greatest self-expression ever for any of us. So that's why the voice is so important. So the thing is that her mother didn't give up. Her mother was bright, and she did her research, and she found a school that could possibly help her daughter. So at the age of 6, she was enrolled at the Perkins School for the Blind, where Helen Keller met her teacher, Anne Sullivan. And, you know, I wrote my blog before this, so while I was writing her story, I was starting to get chills because it was so amazing. Because the possibilities were suddenly there, but nobody would know until sometime later, okay? So it was very frustrating and very hard in order to get this kid to stay still and not act out her frustration at not being able to do the things that she wanted to do. And after trying to teach her some words, because what she was doing, what Anne Sullivan was doing, was trying to teach her how to spell words with her fingers. So it was called finger spelling. If you've ever seen the movie The Miracle Worker, which is about what happened in that instance when Anne Sullivan had a stroke of genius, and she dragged the little girl out into whatever, the courtyard, the yard of the school, and went to the water pump. Because remember, this is the 1880s, okay? There was no running water inside. So they had to go out to the water pump. And when she did this, she started to pour water on this little girl's hand. And with the other hand, she finger spelt the word water. So each letter, W-A-T-E-R, has a specific finger positions in order to spell each one of the alphabet, okay? So all of a sudden, it dawned on that little girl, on Helen Keller, what this woman was trying to teach her. And oh my God, it just opened up the world to her, because by the end of that day, she had learned 30 new words. It was a huge breakthrough for both teacher and student. And from there, oh my God, it was, you know, just going everywhere, okay? And so Helen Keller became unstoppable again. She became unstoppable. So she was able to complete going to school, and she learned how to type. By the age of 16, she could speak well enough to enter prep school, and by age 24, she graduated from Radcliffe College with cum laude honors. Okay, she was the first deafblind person to do this. And while in college, Anne Sullivan signed each lesson into her hand. Now imagine how difficult that might be, okay? She had to dictate into her hand every word in the lesson. Now, you know, that means she had a remarkable memory retention, and she was able to absorb the material by doing something like this. Now, I'm sure there were challenges all the way. And definitely, you know, when you're looking at this, okay, hi, and definitely when you're looking at something like that, you know, she had challenges all the way. Life wasn't like it was easy from that point on when she was able to do all the things that she was able to do, okay? So, but she made herself do these things, because it's quite interesting that she said that writing her books was the medium that she needed in order to express herself, because she couldn't do it. And it also made her more comfortable with other people, because some people just weren't comfortable talking to her because they felt that, well, maybe they felt sorry, you know, for whatever reason, they weren't always comfortable with actually talking to her face to face. But the thing is that she overcame huge difficulties. And each one of us can do the same thing. I mean, there's so many able-bodied people who are living quiet lives in desperation. And what is the point of doing that? There is none. So the lesson here is that each one of us can overcome every single obstacle, every single limitation, even when it's a physical one, in order to do fantastic things, in order to fulfill what our destinies are. And really, we're in charge of our destiny. We're in charge of our destiny. So please come back and read the blog at drjoanny.com. That's drjoanny.com. And come to my blog and read it. I'm Dr. Joanny Liu, founder of Extraordinary Sports Medicine, Concussion Answers. And if you or somebody has a friend who is now suffering from a concussion or PCS right now, please send them to Amazon to pick up my best-selling book, Heal Your Concussion, How to Quickly and Effectively Get Back in the Game. See you next week. Bye.